Hi, everybody. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I'm Terry at Holding Your Space, and this is Susan Lynn, psychic medium. Welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you're here.
Great to be here. Thanks for everybody joining us.
You guys, I probably said, I'm so glad you're here like 10 times. You must think I'm like
Well,
the
one was for
stalker.
them, one was for me, and that was it. It was just 2 times.
There you go. There you
That's
go. It
perfect.
works. It works, doesn't it? Yeah, yeah. We were going to talk today about the Year of the Dragon, which starts tomorrow. Which is supposed to be all about abundance and prosperity, but also strength and working with energy and fire. So we were kind of talking backstage about how the energy this year is already affecting us personally, right?
I feel like the last 30 whatever days I've lived 6 months. I think I've already gone through 6 months of this year. And we were just talking about how you're kind of up and then you're down and then you're holding your own and then you're down and then you're up. And I don't know if you guys feel the same way in the chat. But that's kind of how Terry and I have been experiencing this. And your mileage will vary. So, it just depends on your own personal makeup and how energy affects you, maybe affecting you in a different way.
Yeah, yeah. It's been there are days that I am just like totally blissed out. And that might be 1 hour, and 1 hour later, I'm like, oh my gosh, why did I say that? And that was the silliest thing. And
Oh no.
yeah, seascape, indecision. Yeah,
Indecision.
yeah. Hello.
Let's not make it. Let's just decide that we're going to leave that behind and we're going to manifest something different.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, the energies are erratic right now, aren't they? Yeah. It Cheryl says this year is going very
Yes,
quickly.
exactly.
Honey, I hope so.
Exactly. Oh
That
my
would
god.
that would be wonderful. That would be wonderful. But,
Oh,
up
that's
and
good, Spear.
oh
Up
my
and down like the
god.
undulating dragon. That's very
That
nice.
yeah. What
Very
a
nice.
beautiful way to put that. Beautiful way to put that, Juno. Thank you. Um, Juno is like, I say things for half an hour, and then Juno comes in and does it in one sentence.
We all have our superpowers.
Yeah. Yeah. Mine is pitter patter. So, especially with the language. But anyway, so talking about You're the Dragon and the way that the energies are moving and things are happening. And it seems like all this power is coming in. How do your guides feel about it? How do you feel about it? Is it something that you're seeing happening with the planet?
I'm so glad you asked that question actually, because I honestly, until you emailed me about the topic, I hadn't really given it any thought because I've been in my jujitsu, like spiritual, like what is happening? I've just been in reaction. I have not really thought about it. So your questions really have helped me ground and go, okay, Susan, stop being, over dramatic or whatever the guides say that I am. But anyway, you know what I think? I think the first thing that they said when you asked that question was that manifesting, you guys, manifesting is on turbo charge right now. So this is the beginning of the year. Let's all make a note, like write it in your phone, put it on your calendar, write it on your hand. I don't care that you're going to treat yourself the way you treat others or the way secretly you want to be treated. Because if you start doing that, this manifesting, whatever you're thinking, whatever, scripts or tapes or ideas that have maybe not been the best, maybe they're left over from some relationship or childhood or something, that stuff is going to turn around and be staring you in the face quite quickly. It's going to manifest into a person. It's going to be mirroring that back to you, or a job or a situation, or even your pets. So let's take a breath right now and say, okay, now that I know that, let me put it out there. Let me start with me. Start with ourselves. I'm going to start loving myself. I'm going to start being nice to myself, talking nice to myself. And then I know, since I'm worried about all these other people, I know that if I work with myself first, it's going to end up manifesting in them. So to help them, I help myself first, right? So that's the first thing. And then money. I think money is what the guides are saying right now is money's going to come and go very quickly. I didn't know any of this. I don't ask these questions. We're almost on a not speaking basis here lately. But anyway, money is going to come and go quickly. So what does that mean? Well, if you make a mistake with your money, you can fix it pretty quickly. You can get that money back. So don't think of it like, oh, it's a one-way street. If you have a big bill that happens to pop up for some reason, there's an opportunity for you to bring that money back into your reality. And it doesn't have to be through, people say, well, I only get so much money a month. I'm on a fixed income. You'd be surprised. I found, I do that thing. I don't do it religiously, but whenever somebody says, oh, if you've ever lived in this state, you should check to see if you have any. I know I've checked. And the other day I got like a check for $100. They were like, we're sending you this money. Like, you better take this money. I'm like, I'll take it.
Wow.
So don't, this money can come from anywhere. So I think the money is going to be kind of coming. Volatile is the word they're using. So it could go out, it could come in. Be gentle, be flexible with all of these things. And I think we'll all make it through just fine. What do you think is going to happen?
Ditto what she to do Harry Met Sally. I'll have what she's having, but yeah, totally. It's like, all of a sudden, things are starting to come in, and it's like if you move the energy, but we're so used to not moving the energy because of the pandemic. And then, there's a lot of fear out there about the year ahead and things like that. But jumping into it is a lot of fun when I do it. And the other thing that I've noticed, I'm glad you said that about having fun with it, and it can be entertaining, and also giving yourself rewards. Like, I need this. This is going to be fun, and stepping out of that fear mode. The easiest way for me is through curiosity and joy. So whether that's, going to an estate sale is fun. I like doing stuff like that. I like listening to music. But that really takes me out of that modality of, oh no, what happened, and takes me into a new modality. It seems like too, there's this space, Susan Lynn, that I've kind of seen, that when you step out of that reactionary thing that you're into, or the circle of karma, let's say, right? Where I have to do this, I have to go to this job, I have to do that, I have to do that. And all of a sudden you think, what do I want and what do I think? And if you just step into that, it makes such a big difference.
I love that. You're holding space, which you're good at. You're holding space for that. I love
Thanks.
that. And I love the idea of fun, right? I don't think we even think about what would be fun for me. And I think because the manifestation is quickening, that if you can be a little more playful and say, what is some fun thing that I can do? It doesn't have to cost a lot of money, everybody. It can be very simple, like listening to music or getting out an old hobby that you've forgotten about that's stored in the garage or something. It can be very simple. But starting out this year with those ideas of holding space for fun, for flexibility, I think that's going to pay off in dividends. The other thing is, I feel like somehow the energy doubles as we go through the year. So like whatever happened in the first couple of months, if you were able to hold space for that fun, you have room for more fun. You know what I mean? It just feels like it's going to build on it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. What do you do for fun, Susan Lynn?
Oh, wow. Somebody has a birthday. Happy birthday, whoever it is.
Oh, it's Peter Booker. It's his birthday.
Oh,
Peter and
awesome.
Carolyn are amazing mediums.
Oh my God. How cool is
Amazing.
that? Well, happy
Yeah.
birthday.
Yeah,
That is
happy
so
birthday.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do I do for fun? I love nature. Nature is not only what I do for fun, but it rebuilds my soul. I love to garden. I love music. Like hanging out with friends. I love art. I'm not a big shopper, but I like those kind of quaint, unique, independent shops.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are some of my go-tos for fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are fun. I love all those. Yeah. Paisley says she's going to do some galactic traveling. I think you
Awesome.
should. I think we all, well, I think we all are, number one. And that brings into the next part of this is how do your guides feel about that? Because I feel like the galactics are showing themselves much more, or star beings. So and they're coming around more. We see more orbs. The news is talking about it now.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
sort of like a disclosure by 1,000 cuts. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's just by these tiny little degrees, but it's not really tiny if you think about it. You know, like what is the city that had the whole? Was it Phoenix or somebody that had all the lights
Oh my
over the
gosh,
whole?
yeah.
I mean, that's not a small thing, but yet
No.
our media in our brains, we just kind of we absorbed it as best we could,
Yeah.
which is to say that we really didn't absorb it. So I feel you're absolutely right. I feel like disclosure, or the beings that want to work with us, that want to help us. I really do feel like there's a balancing happening on the earth because we're so out of balance, and I really feel like there's sort of like a compliance, right? Like we can get out of balance so much,
Yeah.
and that's okay. But I feel like we're out of that. And so I think that we have helpers coming down to help us in a myriad of ways. But absolutely, I think, do you feel like this year is going to be the year where we have another big event like that? What was that city? Was it Phoenix?
I don't know if anybody, yeah, if anybody in the chat knows, let us know. I know Vegas had the landing in somebody's backyard, and somebody's in a
Yeah, that's
neighborhood,
right.
but I think it was Arizona or New Mexico.
And
Oh,
Miami had the 10-foot tall beings
yeah,
at the mall.
yeah. So when I go out, sometimes I see these 8 foot and 7 foot tall people with all the hair and the beards. They're usually men, and but I notice them around a lot. Do you notice anyone around that you're like, yeah, they're not quite human?
Yeah, I've seen that before. I don't know if I've seen it. You know, to be honest with you, I'm just not getting out that much right now. It's something I want to change, but I
Yeah.
work from home and I'm a homebody. And so I'm just not getting out that much. But when I was in New Mexico, not this last year, but the year before, there's been a few times actually. I've seen people and I'm like, you're not you're not from around here. And I mean, galactically, you're not in our galactic neighborhood. People would ask like how Phoenix Lights 1997. Thank you, Chris MK. People say, how do you know? Well, you just have a sense, right? You're just like something's not exactly jiving with that person. But in one case, I swear they were glowing. I swear they literally, no, in
Wow.
two cases, I could see a glow, and I don't see auras.
Yeah.
And I'm not a Reiki person, but I could see them glowing. But I think it's interesting that you see the tall ones with the beard. I mean, is this like are they trying to be like ZZ Top reincarnated or something? I mean, is
They
that what's going on there?
they look very Nordic. I think they're
So they're
Palladian.
white hair?
Oh yeah, white hair.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah,
And
they're
they have beards.
a lot of them do. They're very
Wow, I've
hairy.
never seen a Nordic with a lot of hair. I've always
Yeah,
seen them look like the hairless cat kinda thing.
right? So I don't know, maybe they're Lemurian, but, I at first I thought they were Palladian because they were so tall and light, but, maybe they are Lemurian. So I used to see
Wow.
them when I was a kid, and I'd be out, and they were really tall, but they didn't have beards then. So and I knew that they weren't, Earthlings either, and I'd look at them and I'd smile, and they'd look at me like, "You can see me?"
Yeah, 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 exactly, like yeah, right.
Yeah.
I love that. That's cool.
Well, and we have, like, the media, right? I mean, they've got us all upset about the war and things going on, so we put a lot of attention on that, of course, because we're empaths and there is a lot going on. But then it's hard to change our minds or our energy over, isn't it? Yeah.
It really is. It's
Yeah.
harder, I would say it's harder to do so. Um, I think it's hard to find that line where I need to know what's going on, but I need to check out.
Right. Right. To be aware of what's going on.
Right.
And I love that you and Linda G and Kevin and everybody are helping everybody with that, because that's not
With the
my
politics,
forte.
I mean, with the politics.
Yeah, yeah, with the politics, because it is a service and people do get scared, and I think it has helped a lot. Um, oh, yeah, Millie, people have told me Andromeda too. Yeah, yeah. Um,
So somebody asked, what are they doing here? So what do you think they're doing here?
that's so interesting. That's such a great question. I think that they're here to experience, and I think that they're here to assist. Right, Juno, to observe, don't absorb. And that's probably for them too, Juno. That's a great way to put it. But I feel like they are here to look at what's happening and to help us, to assist us. And I think a lot of them are here for protection for us too, as light workers. I feel like because the only time that I've seen them is when I was out and about. Like I do this nerdy thing during the season, and they have Celtic song thing, sea shanty choir.
Oh,
And you
nice.
just go and you you sing, and it's just a bunch of people in a pub singing sea
I
shanty.
love it. What are you kidding
Yeah,
me? It sounds awesome.
yeah, it's a blast, and that's where I see a lot of them, and it's around music that I see a lot of them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Nice. 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 So they're
yeah,
raising the vibration.
yeah. Don't you feel like that? I mean, that when you said that, it gets,
Yeah.
you know.
And people see them on trails, you know what I mean? Like some friends of mine saw this woman come over this trail, and they were a good 4 miles from the trailhead, and this woman was wearing flip-flops and had no backpack, no water. It was summer, and she's like,
Um,
and they were both like, what is going on? And she says, have you seen so and so? And they're like, and then here comes this guy and he's wearing no shoes, and they're like, how is this even possible? Right? Like, how is this even possible? And
oh,
they associated it with a sound they heard in the forest. They heard this sound in the forest that sounded like maybe it was a big animal, like a bear or something. And then here comes this woman. So they were like, we're wondering if they kind of materialized to kind of help us out. So that's it, it is fascinating. I think if we all wrote down our experiences and compared them, I think
yeah.
that would be really fascinating.
Yeah, I think it would too. And because you find feathers all the time, don't you?
Mhm.
Isn't that what your guides give you?
I
Yeah.
find balls, feathers and balls. Yeah. Balls are from my dad though, I think, in
Oh,
spirit. But yeah. Yeah, but I think we should compare, The guides are saying right now, this don't ask me why they're going this direction. I've stopped asking questions. So, if we had doctors and nurses, if they wrote down every time a patient was miraculously cured and just sent it off somewhere to a database. Wouldn't that be fascinating to know? Because we don't know that data. How many times does a patient show up with imaging that they had 2 weeks ago and now their imaging is clear
yeah,
and nobody has a reason for it? And
yeah,
so we're missing out on connecting the dots. And I think maybe 2024 and 2025 is connect the dots, is get your community together and then share with each other so that we can learn, but we can also see how there's a bigger impact happening that we're not even aware of.
I've said this to Debbie Freeberg before, but I see some sort of a spiritual, like, committee or something that puts things like this together. And I can see you doing that, being a big part of that, Susan.
Very cool.
I think it'd be awesome. Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, we are connected on the web of creation, right? Yeah, yeah. There's so there's so much going on with that. The galactics and everything coming in. What do you think they're here for?
I agree with you. I think they're here to help us, whether that means to protect us, but guide us maybe more than protect us, because protection sounds so negative, but guide us. Um, More likely to get valid info from nurses. That's perfect. Yeah. I mean, I just think if we changed our mindset, if doctors changed their mindset, look, this mindset's going to get changed whether we want it to or not. I don't care what anybody says. Our medical care is going to change dramatically in the next 3 or 4 years, because it has to. So I think you're going to see some real miracles there. But I think that the ETs, or the beings, are here. You know what else they just said? So this is all kind of coming together. So you know how theoretically the tall beings were there when the pyramids were being built, right? You know how some civilizations got this amazing technology? The Romans were using aqueducts and had sewers, and some of these civilizations just got amazing technology that seemed to have leapfrogged them over other civilizations and other parts of our planet. And I feel like they're coming here to help us leapfrog, maybe with healing, maybe with energy, because these are two things that they seem to want to talk to me about being kind of, they should be for the people. It shouldn't, healing shouldn't be just for those that have the money. It's a human right, and energy should be free. These things should be free. They're our birthright, is what they're saying right now. So I think they're coming here to help us do that. And I want to know what you think about this. So, do you feel like in the 50s, I really believe that ETs, aliens, whatever, they came in and said no to the nuclear. We did the one nuclear bomb, and they said, that's it. We're not allowing that anymore. You're messing up the vibration of the entire galaxy, and we can't have that. So I do think they keep us from doing that. I don't think that we're allowed to do that. But at the same time, do you feel like we did get some technology from them that was squashed, that was for the sake of profit, was held from us? Do you feel like that was the case?
Yeah, I really do. I feel like we've gotten a lot, and I feel like there are still individuals, billionaires,
I
that
agree.
have gotten a lot, and may not all be, you know,
Exactly.
full earthlings.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
So I feel like they're coming here to level the playing field.
I love that.
They're giving it to us. They're
Yeah.
giving it to the people. That's why I think humans are going to start healing each other, because the system is broken. So I feel like it's like a level playing field. So they're going to be dropping this information, so to speak, into our own consciousness, into humans everywhere, all around the entire globe, are going to have those downloads, and they're going to automatically somehow know how to do something. And that's power to the people. Exactly, Ness. Right. Pluto and Aquarius is all about the people and equality. And it begins here. It begins at this time. Now, I don't know what year of the dragon, if the year of the dragon has anything energetically to speak to that. But
It is abundance, power, strength, wisdom, and ability to control the elements. So yeah,
wow, to control the elements. That would be
yeah,
interesting.
yeah. So the energy, control the energy. Oh, Nikki wants to know what your guides see for
About
Canada.
Canada.
Yeah.
You guys are I feel like the United States has got this terrible I got to be careful the words I use, but this like flu, and it's kind of catching to you guys. You know what I mean? Like, I think you've got your right wingers that we exported or something. Your country's quite divided. I mean, I'm just reading energetically. Okay. It feels divided to me, the French area. And then, you can almost make them into 4 areas, I guess. But I feel like what I love about Canadians is that you guys have more of a sense of unity than that's innate, that's just innate for whatever reason, than I feel like Americans have. So I think you guys are gonna band together. I think it's going to be uh speaking of the dragon, they're saying like a trial through fire. Right. So I
Wow.
think you have to get, like, we have our Trump. We the spirit guides always say, what will the humans choose? We get to choose, right? What will the humans choose? So I feel like you guys are going to come together. I don't know what's going on with Trudeau. I feel like whenever I say his name, 50% of the people hate him, 50% of the people like him. I don't have an opinion about him. I'm just saying that I feel like he may be moving over for a new type of leader or a new leadership. But I feel like that's change. Change is messy. So I just think it could be a little uncomfortable there as you sort of work this out. It's the same thing that's happening down here. But I think in the end, you guys are going to be just fine. It just could be a little uncomfortable while you're sort of deciding, what do we really want? We see what America's going through. Do we want that? What do we want to avoid? What can we learn from America? I hope everybody's learning something from us. Truly.
I hope so. I hope we're learning something from us mostly. So it's just, yeah, it's all this chaos coming up with the government, and we really are seeing what we don't want. I mean, there are so many agents of change involved in all over the world, right? But particularly in our government right now. So, yeah, trying to figure out things that we thought, women's choice to control their bodies, things like that, that we thought, oh, that's set in stone,
Yeah.
and yeah, racial discrimination. It's just, yeah. So it's all coming out in the air to get aired out and changed. But and I do like what you're saying too about changing our story. You didn't quite put it that way, but that's how I always call it. It's kind of like, we have this story that I have to stay inside, or I have to do this, or I have to do that. And we have so many choices right now with this energy coming in. And if we take that choice to step out of what our norm was, of either being depressed or worried about this in the past and worried about the future, instead just be right now, makes such a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's increments. I think it's increments. You know what I mean? Sometimes maybe the increments are hard to see, the changes that are taking place.
They are. I'm glad you said that, because it's real easy to say, don't do this and don't do that. But we all have to be gentle with ourselves, because I don't know about you guys, but I'm finding things from the past that I thought, oh, that's a done deal. I have healed that cord. I've cut that. I've taken an axe to that cord. And now all of a sudden I'm like, what it comes back, and I'm like, I have to look at it again. But
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of that going on.
There's a lot of that going on.
So what do you see for commerce, like North America or the United States?
Well, in I feel like it's good. I feel like overall it's really, really good. I feel like they're talking about trade deals. There's some kind of trade in North America. The entire continent. I see a new trade deal, some kind of new trading partner deal announced. Mainly, it looks like United States and Canada, but it could be all the way down into Central America. And that leads you into, the border situation. And I think if we can get down into Central America and figure out some cooperative trading that can bring, those living standards up, I think that would be a win-win for all of us. And I think COVID taught us that we need to have trading in this continent, right? Because sometimes if something happens, we can't necessarily get that merchandise or those goods from another country that might be further away. So I think there's really reason to really have more of that. I don't know. I see I've always seen the summer being so good that Biden, his policies are starting to sort of slowly come online. These things take a long time. And
Mm.
certainly a lot of his policies won't even be online until next year, but you're starting to see. And I don't know. I see it looking really good, to be honest with you. I don't see any, I see some really episodic, small little things with what do you call that when you're shipping things or that kind of thing. How about you?
Oh, transport.
Yeah,
Um, yeah. I see the same. I feel like, he's like a superstar right now. He's just
yeah,
surrounded in light,
it's true.
Biden is. And I love Mexico and I love Canada. I feel like there's a lot going on there and a lot of energy and all banding together, like you said, because when you're having trouble with transportation and there's already the supply chain. Thank you, Juno. She always knows. And so it's like when you know um that you can get things by train or by by car or whatever, truck, it makes such a difference. Um, Somebody was asking about Norway too. I feel like the EU is going to do well. I'm hoping. I've got family in the UK, and I'm really hoping that the UK goes well. I think that they're going to have to go through something to try to get back to the EU.
I think it'll be a new contract. It'll be a different contract, but a new contract. And I think it's actually gonna. There's something about energy I just heard. Like either oil or gas or uh, something with energy transfer to Britain. Um, I feel like it's going to be good. I really do, you guys. I don't, the only things that I think, the only fly in the ointment or the fly in your white wine or whatever it is, your orange juice, I think is, some of these despots, some of this energy around dictatorships wanting to flex their muscles. But I feel like they're going to be kind of put in their place too, because everybody needs everybody now. We're not in a place anymore where you can allow one country to do something kind of nutty. And now with these drones, any group of crazy people can launch a drone and attack a country. It's pretty that's pretty alarming. So that's going to do is it's going to cause all of us to have an even more connected where NATO is going to grow, everything is going to grow, trade is going to get more partnered. We're going to realize because of climate change, we've got to rely on each other. We're all in this together. And if we are not in this together, we're really going to suffer. So I really feel like I just see everybody coming more and more together, including Britain going back into the EU. It might be a little different than the original version because I
Yeah,
think there's still some concerns around immigration. There seems to be still some concerns within Britain about around immigration, but
yeah,
they need this. They need these other trading partners. They need these other trading deals.
they do. They do. I have family over there, and it's been hard. It's with food and people to help, and they lost a lot of great workers, and you know,
That's
it's
what's going
been
to
really
happen
tough.
here. We're coming right behind them. I heard Republicans on NPR yesterday saying the thing that we could do to increase our economy is bring in immigrants. We don't have enough workers. And
Mhm.
we're here. We're shooting ourselves in our own foot, just like Britain.
Yeah, we are. We are. Yeah. It's been tough, and then housing and everything else. It's crazy here right now. We have a multi-dimensional house right now at our house, so which I love. But the East, Asia, if you go over there, it's always 3 generations living in a house or 4. That's never a
Sure.
big deal, and we were like that for a long time growing up. My mom was German, and my grandmother lived with us off and on. She would move from, Florida to Missouri to, you know, Texas.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah, smart woman. Um, So this brings us into the EU and England and a nice treadway into the monarchy. So we were kind of talking about that backstage too. And I think King Charles and bless him with yeah, and Kathy's right on it. Thank you, Kathy. You got that right away. Yeah. Will he stand aside related to illness? She's asking.
I see him doing that. Do you see him doing that?
Yeah,
I
I've
didn't
seen it.
see him long as a king. I really didn't.
I didn't either.
No.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like I always felt like he would step down. I didn't know why. I thought it was going to be a hubba bubba about something else.
Ah,
But and I'm sorry that it's this. I'm sorry it's illness.
yeah, I'm sorry it is too. I'm sorry that I think he waited his whole life, right, to be king. And here he gets it cut short. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. 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 They have so how do you feel about Harry and Meghan then? Do you think that that's going to
Dude,
I
I don't even talk about it on my channel because
oh, you
people
don't?
literally like go crazy about it.
Oh, okay. We don't
I
have
no,
to.
I don't mind at all. I I think something that we should probably be talking about because my guides brought it up to me yesterday. So Kate is missing in action,
Yeah.
and what is that? There's energy around that being more serious than anybody's letting on. Like
Yeah.
pretty serious. Do you pick up anything about that?
Yeah, I do. I do. It's a hard time. Um, it feels like it's something in her reproductive organs or solar plexus. It could be something in there that's going on. But she has such a light around her, and of course, poor William because his mom dying when she was quite young. I mean, it's just gotta be devastating, then his dad getting a diagnosis.
And his wife is not doing well. I think that might be the firm's line is that she had a hysterectomy. I'm not sure. I saw that somewhere. So I
Oh,
think
okay.
and I agree with you about that energy. I'm just going to tell you, I don't. Hey, Kevin. Kevin, what do you think about Kate? We'll talk about it tonight, maybe too. But I don't. I would just say pray. I listen. King Charles is an older guy. He's lived a long life. I mean, okay, maybe I can, but
Yeah.
Kate's young, and I think she could use our prayers. And then and that topic, pregnancy, that's interesting, Cheryl.
Mm,
It seems like it to me. It seems like something was revealed. Like maybe it was an ectopic pregnancy, and then they found something else.
oh, yeah.
I think they found something
Hmm.
else. That's the thing that I'm picking up on. But then, what do you get? Do you get anything else about that?
I get that she's, I mean, she's kind of had a lot of fun with what she's done, and she has ridden that ride so hard, and she might just be exhausted from it too.
That's true too. That's true too. It's got to be
Yeah.
exhausting.
Yeah, I feel like
Gotta
she's
be.
probably, she might be rethinking, um, what's important in her life, with is it the
Oh,
kids? Is it having all this and not having backup because they really made it smaller, right? The royals that get to go out and help with things. So, yeah, the
yeah.
firm.
Yeah. I don't. I. When I say pray for somebody, that's pretty serious. I'm not saying. How do I say this? I'm worried about her. Okay, is it an
Oh,
exit point for her? I'm worried. I'm worried about her. She does not.
oh,
Her life force doesn't look great to me. Okay,
oh,
um,
wow.
I think she could pull it out, but I think it looks concerning.
Oh, yeah.
Um, and then William and tell me the other two. I'm sorry.
Oh, Harry and Meghan.
Harry, Harry and Meghan.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, what were you at? Just how are they doing?
I do you feel like they're coming back to England?
it's gonna be controversial. This
Yeah.
is just my opinion, you guys. I could be wrong. I'm wrong all the time. Um, I feel like at some point Harry might come back on his own. I'm not 100% sure they're gonna make it. And this is not a judgment about anybody or anything. It's just two people trying to have a relationship in the craziest possible circumstances that anybody could cook up, right? This is a pressure cooker of a situation in all ways. And I'm not sure. Harry just feels and again, think about it, right? Like what if Kate doesn't make it and then that triggers the Diana thing and then his childhood is just right.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that the royal family has the bulletproof wherewithal these days to pull it together and get through this the
Wow.
way they would in the past. They're not as bulletproof as they used to be. And I just don't know. I just feel like when I go into the energy, I don't see a lot of support. You said the same thing, right? Their support, they're getting smaller. They're trying to say,
Yeah.
well, we don't need all of this,
Mhm.
but I don't know. I just think this is really going to hit Harry and I have no problem with Harry or Meghan. I have no problem with any of them. I love all of them. I'm just telling you energetically that's what I'm picking up. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of wondered about, Megan coming back. I think that was a lot for her, and
Ah,
I I can't imagine the pressure that she was under
yeah.
with everything.
And
So
I think Kate goes through the same pressure in a different way, right? In a different way, but the pressure cooker situation on these people, I think that these younger people don't have. They just don't have the thick skin that these other generations had, and I don't think they want to have it. So I'm not sure how all that's gonna come out.
yeah. Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough being a princess, but
Uh, and a prince and a king
yeah.
and in that really and think about hundreds of years of inculcation of tradition of and think about our souls. Our souls are not incarnating the same way they did 100 years ago. Our souls are different. Our soul light is different.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, also, they have to deal with the press over there,
Yeah,
and it is not easy, man.
that's a different story. Their press is a whole different story to our press. And I
Yeah.
loved Queen Elizabeth. I think she's wonderful and I think she did when she left. Yeah, it's like she was the glue holding the whole thing together it turns out.
Yeah, she really was. She was amazing. She's such a beautiful light. Um, so, okay, we've already talked about galactic energy. Um, talking about the US relations with the galactics. Like, do you feel like our government is in tune with them? Um, how much are they in tune with them? And are there like consortiums around the planet of countries that are interconnected?
Consortiums of galactic energies that are connected.
Oh, actually both. Yeah. I was thinking consortiums of like countries that are connecting with them. But yeah, definitely also the other way around.
The way I see it, that's a great question. I mean, they're all aware of each other, right? But
Yeah.
I don't feel like they're all on the same team, so to speak.
Yeah.
And they call them when I'm talking to them, they call themselves species
Yeah.
instead of races. So they would say, there's the species that has the under the water, and then there's this the group that has the Antarctica, and then there's the group that has the mountain, and then blah blah blah. So and I just heard the word cross purposes. Working at cross purposes. Does that mean they're not working together? Isn't that what that means?
Huh.
Cross purposes. Um, So they must be cross purposes in a way that causes confusion or failure because people are working or talking with different goals or purposes. So yeah, so spirit is telling me, or someone is telling me that spirit, they're not all on the same team. That's the first thing they said. So I don't think that means that they're, you know, enemies. I just think
Right.
that they're doing different things. They have different roles, different reasons. Um, yeah, they're not in alignment.
Yeah.
What are you getting?
I hadn't really thought about it that way, but yeah, I could see how they have different purposes, each one of them, of their interests. Like, I think that some of them are here to basically to use our crystalline energy. We're
Yes,
such a
I
rich
agree.
planet.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, and, to get involved in that, but also to activate it, because
Yeah.
I feel like the planet is being activated in so many different ways, and climate change is part of that. Um, but I think that I think that's why they're keeping us safe too, don't you? So that we can't neutralize each other, and,
Oh yeah.
yeah, that would make a lot of sense. But then I feel like others, like the ones in the mountains, Mount Shasta, I think they're Lemurians, a lot of them. And I feel like they've been here for so long, and they just go through the tunnels, the caves system, and work with things. But yeah, it seems like they're doing something different too. It feels that way. More guardians protecting.
And I feel
Yeah.
like some species are coming in, like you're saying, and mining our whatever our precious, minerals or crystals are, and going out with it.
Yeah.
So we're literally like a mining operation. They don't want anything to do with us. They don't want any trouble. They just want to come in and get what they're getting. They get what they get, and then they go out. And so,
Yeah.
and then others, I think this is their home.
Yeah.
This is where they live.
Yeah.
So, like you're saying with the Lemurian, I mean, this is their home. So in that way, there are cross purposes, right? Because some are just like, we live here, some are here to protect us, some are here to get something that they need from us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That
which one
makes a
of
lot of
those
sense.
groups would be the one to disclose? And why would you even think disclosure needs to happen?
Right? Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Um, I don't think it needs to. I think we're gonna step into it individually in some respects. Like, I think eventually it will be a disclosure, but might not be till, 2030, something like that, when we're ready for it. But I feel like, I mean, obviously, we all think here, probably most of us, large percentage of us, that this is already happening and are aware of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that ups the ante then for them for
In
coming
what way?
around.
It ups the ante in what way?
For them coming around and disclosing themselves individually to us,
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
that we will start to see them. And, like, okay, you were talking about, the person that you saw and their skin was glowing, because 'cause I've seen that too lately, and I felt like those were angels,
Oh,
which
yeah, that's true. You're right.
yeah.
The one couple were angels. You're absolutely right, but the other couple were not angels.
Oh, wow.
The one couple were they for sure 100% angels. The other ones were, I don't know what they were. I
Wow. That's so cool.
Al something. Al what Al Al
Andromedan?
it
Um,
almost sounds like Altyrian Altier something like an Altyrian. Al
huh. I think there's so many different species. I don't know. Oh, speaking of which, okay, let's get weird. Um,
do it.
we got 10 minutes
Arturian.
left.
Okay, yeah, trancing. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think Arturian. Thank you. I think
Oh,
that's it.
Arcturian.
Arturian. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, transcendent spirits. Oh, everybody's saying
All of you.
Arcturian now.
All of
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
So let's talk about dark holes
Okay.
since we've gone galactic here. And I'm so into dark holes right now. I feel like they are such a source of energy. But do your guides give you any information on them, or do you feel any way about them? If I'm being too weird, let me know.
No, there's like somebody Paisley said, what do you mean weird? Weirder? No. When you say dark hole, because I'm not sure, are you talking about a portal?
A portal, but the dark hole is the part where it sucks in like a planet, or it'll suck in like a meteor or something when
Oh
it gets
yeah.
too close to it. And it's a space of I think it's a gravitational pull that has no matter inside it, which is of course it's energy, but I don't know if
Do you
that makes
think
any
that
sense.
once things go in there, they just disappear? Or do you think, when you're in IKEA and they have that thing that says shortcut to housewares, and
Yeah.
you literally you're like, how did I get here? Because if I went the other way, it would take me, 20 minutes. So is it a shortcut to someplace else, or is it a place to nowhere?
I think it's a place to nowhere and everything at the same time.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. But
Um,
okay, that's a paradox.
yeah, yeah, I feel like it's kinda like, in a way it is a shortcut, but it's also like, um, I'm wondering if it's not pure consciousness, like pure divine energy.
Okay.
I don't know.
Pure divine energy.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
in
so
that case, it would be a destination as well as a physical manifestation of the energies in space to transmute physical things back to okay, that's
okay. Love that. Thank you,
to
Paisley.
transmute physical things back into energy. Which makes sense with your consciousness in a sense, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It is. Yeah.
And is it a time space continuum?
That too.
So you can go in it, loop back around, end up behind yourself, because nothing is linear. We humans, we have to be linear because that's the
Yeah.
world we live in, but nothing is linear.
Hypnicity saying, "Scotty," right? "Beam me up, Scotty."
Yeah.
It totally is. Yeah, I think it is. I think you can go in there and only see light. Yeah, the quantum realm. Thank you, Trancing. Yeah, definitely. Um, it
Maybe
is.
it's an intention portal. Maybe if you go in consciousness, like you said, maybe when you go in, if your intention is to go back in time, that's what you do. If your intention is to go forward, if your intention is to not exist anymore, that happens. It's literally a manifestation of your intention.
Whoa, yeah, that sounds really good. It feels really
It
good
kind
with
of sounds
them.
like what the world is going through right now, the manifestation of our intention.
Yeah. Yeah. It is, isn't it? Yeah, if we're being loving and kind and supportive.
I mean, you're going to
Um,
get more of whatever that intention is. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Huh. Cool. Wow. Okay. Um, well, is there anything else you wanna talk about? We've got 6 minutes left. I've been, like
I just want to say this. I want to say this because this came to me today and I think it's really important. And with all of our what's going on in the world and in the United States, it's really easy to see that we're all divided. It's really easy to feel that way. And in a lot of ways, that is true. But I feel like talk about intention, because that's what made me think of it. If our intention is to sow fear and to sow distrust, and differences, and you're different than me, and I don't trust you, and all that. Um, but I don't feel like that's what's going to happen. I feel like that there's an overlap. There's a Venn diagram where there's a lot of people in the world that don't want war. There's a lot of people in the world that are like you're talking about. Britain is now saying, "Hey, maybe we want to be back in the EU, right?" And I just feel like there's more of us that really are starting to see our similarities simply because somebody tried to prove that we had nothing alike. And when they tried to prove that to us, I really think it activated our heart space. I really think it activated us in a way that we said, no, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm human. They're human. We have a lot more in common than I thought. So I think this is what you're going to hear more and more of. And for me, one of the ways that showed up was at the Grammys with Tracy Chapman singing on the stage with Luke Combs. And Luke Combs singing the female part. He redid her song, right? He redid her song. It topped the country fast car. It topped the country charts. And he didn't change the lyrics. He sung it like he was a woman.
Oh, I love that.
And he's a big old country boy. Okay.
Yeah.
And he didn't change the lyrics. And you can understand that the country music people would normally be saying, because I heard lots of interviews about this that said he didn't change the lyrics. He kept it as a woman because he said, I have to pay respect to this song. I'm not changing a word of it. This song meant so much to me when I was a kid and my dad played it that I just want to pay homage to that. Now that song is about, let's get a fast car. You and I'll be okay. I quit school to take care of my dad because that's what I thought I had to do. But you and I are going to get a fast car and get out of here. And we're going to try to live the American dream. Now this big white man is on the stage crying practically because he resonated with that message that a gay Black woman wrote, how many tens and tens of years ago? 20 years ago?
Yeah.
Y'all, that's
It's been
it.
a long time.
That's it right there. That's the Venn diagram. We all want to get a fast car. We all want to make enough money to live. We're tired of fighting each other. We're tired of seeing the differences. We're tired of trying to say there's only one piece of pie because now we know there's a lot of pie. We can all get a piece of this pie. We're finding our grace. We're finding our humility. And I think we're finding our humanity. And I really believe that.
I love that. Yeah. I think we are. I think we're all creating our own world and like you said, stepping through into something new. Yeah.
And I agree. It was respect. It was mutual respect. He was in deference to her. I've never personally seen a man on a stage be so deferential to anybody. I've not seen that myself, but she respected him just as much. It was beautiful. It was mutual respect. It was absolutely beautiful.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch
You'll
it.
have to watch it because it's all there. When you take the words and you take the lyrics, these country music listeners are feeling this message for themselves that was written by a gay Black woman 20-something years ago. We're not different. We're struggling with the same things.
Yeah. Yeah, BJ. She's like, she's amazing. Unique, strong woman like Phoebe's.
Yeah. Tracy Chapman's amazing, but I give a lot of props to Luke Combs too because he could have done that very different. Yeah,
definitely.
And I didn't know how I felt about it when I first heard him singing it. And one of my friends said, "I don't like this. I don't like this man co-opting this song for the country music world." And I was kind of 1989. Thank you. And I was kind of like, I don't know. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but I love that it's bringing us together.
Yeah.
There you go. Yep. Divine feminine and masculine. You got to see this guy. He's a big man. I mean, big in all ways. And
I've seen pictures of him lately and I wondered why. Okay.
Yeah, that's why, because he's catching a lot of good publicity. And I also just want to say that these country stations, they could say, is this guy trans? Is this guy weird? Why is he singing this song playing the female part? Why didn't he just change the pronoun? Why didn't he use his right pronoun? Look, you guys, I'm telling you, the elastic, we're getting stretched. They're getting stretched. They're allowing. There's a
Yeah.
lot more to this than what meets the eye. It's very deep. It's a very deep thing that happened, in my opinion.
Wow. That's beautiful. That's so beautiful. Well, thank you so much for being here. Wow. It's just amazing. Yeah.
It's true. The pronoun doesn't matter. You're right. And he's the last man I would ever think that would get on the stage and say that by the looks of him.
Yeah.
So there I'm getting schooled, right? That I'm judging this guy by the looks of him. So, yeah,
Androgyny, baby.
that's right. It's true, BJ. It's true.
It's so fluid. It
It's
is so
That's
fluid.
why all these kids are fluid. That's why they don't care.
Completely. Yeah.
They just don't care. Yeah, and he has a really strong draw, and he sings it with a strong draw. He sings it with a
Yeah.
very strong country draw. It's just mind-blowing if you think about all the layers of it, the lyrics, the fact that he didn't change the pronoun, the fact that he honored her. He was very, very gracious to her. She was gracious to him. Uh, they didn't know each other. You know what I mean? Like, she hasn't even performed since 2008.
You're kidding me.
She has not performed since 2008. She's
Oh, I
totally
love
been out of
her.
the music industry. And they all came together in 2024 in front of millions of people in the middle of this whole Taylor Swift thing.
Wow.
The Taylor Swift thing is the other thing that's happening, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah. Which
anyway,
I love. So
I
I'm
know I
excited
love her.
about
I
that
love
too.
her. I love
Yeah.
her. Yeah.
Um,
Thanks, everybody. Thank you for having me on.
yeah, thank you for coming. That was so much fun. So everybody please like and subscribe to Susan Lynn and to me, Terry, at Holding Your Space. And we'll see you later on. So thanks. And tonight, you're going to be together with Kevin, aren't you?
I'm going to be on Kevin's channel. Yep.
Yeah.
Kevin's Loving Vibrations. We're going to be talking politics. So the vibration's going to be a little different.
It'll be fun.
A little different, but somebody's got to do it, right? Somebody's got to do it. But this
Yeah.
was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed talking about other things, and I enjoyed talking so much about our galactic cousins. That it's fascinating. We should just do a whole show on galactic cousins or galactic
Ooh,
energies. That'd be fun.
I would love that. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. We'll see you later. Thank you so much.